Trey from Team OTK bringing you my bros undefeated Darklord deck profile.
All right, how you doing, everybody? I'll get right into it. Starting off, I played the 2 Darklord Morningstar. Excellent card. Anybody says it's not, just doesn't know how to play the deck. What it does is when you summon it, you can't special summon it, obviously, but what you can do is tribute summon it. When you do, you can summon a Darklord monsters up to the number of effect monsters my opponent controls. And also what it can do is mill cards off the top of my deck equal to the number of Dark Lord monsters I control. And what that does is open up big possibilities. I can dump this, and sometimes I'll mill into things like this, and then be able to use graveyard effects for the Dark Lords I summon. Also, it combos well with certain lockdown plays that I had available in the deck. In my opinion, need to run at least one, 2 because I wanted to have just one other Lord target. Run the 3 Dark Lord XL, best card in the deck. Ditch it and one other Dark Lord card. Draw 2 cards, need it. 3 Superbia for your combo plays. Gets back all your product from graveyard and goes into your rank 8 plus. 3 Zerato, built-in Raigeki effect. Once again, also it's a level 8, so it has great synergy with trade-in. I made this more of a level 8 based deck, if I could, simply because it's more synergy for draw power. And finally, the rank 8 pool, if I go into my extra deck, is just kind of the best to utilize, obviously. 3 Nastin, second most expensive card in the deck next to XL. What it does is you send 2, it's kind of got like a True King effect. You use pop 2 in your hand, special summon it, and then it's very good. I used to run it at 1, but now that I see, through play testing and whatnot, 3 is the best ratio because what I'll do is, pop 2 cards in hand, and sometimes I'll get, Rebellion or whatnot. Be able to pop something on the field or an enchantment, be able to take control of something and push for damage. It was great all weekend. You can only special summon once per turn, though. So don't think that, you can pop it and maybe Dark Lord Contact and try to revive it. It doesn't work like that. You can only special summon it once like this, kind of like Megalo. In the sense that you can, how you get it on the field. So it was a great card all weekend. 2 Tezcatlipoca. This is basically Gungnir for the deck with mass destruction. Does the same thing as any other Dark Lord. Pay 1,000. You can utilize any Dark Lord spell or trap effect from the graveyard. Great card. In my opinion, might bump it up to 3. It's good to see. Then finally we had the 2 Christia and the 2 Vanity's Fiend. This was amazing all weekend long simply because I could drop this with 4 fairies engraved. Some of my opponents didn't realize that the Dark Lords are fairies, not fiends. And also this does not have to be 4 light fairy monsters. It just has to be 4 fairies in general. It doesn't have to be different names either. I had one play, I dropped it, got back XL, ditched XL, and another Dark Lord card for a +2 that got me into a Raigeki. I was able to push for game after that, so it was good. That's 20 monsters. Onto the spells. 3 of the best spell in the deck. Banishment of the Dark Lords. I can search out any Dark Lord card, period. Then run 3 of the Monster Reborn. The Dark Lord Contact gets any Dark Lord back in defense mode. You love to be able to use this with your Superbia, so you can get 2 for the price of 1. Sometimes 3 if they have another one engraved, because what will happen is I'll use this, use Superbia to bring back one of the Dark Lords that can utilize the graveyard effect, and then bring back a 3rd. So it's really good. Honestly, that's how I dropped my Morningstar a lot of the time, and then get back the same 3 monsters essentially. You trade in, obviously. Ditch level 8, draw 2, gotta run it. 3 or lower, gotta run it. Draw 2, ditch or banish dark monster. Well worth it. 3 Twin Twister, back row removal. Paleo guy just cried. I blew up like his entire back row when he tried to set it. I set like 2 of these. My turn. He just instant scoop. Need it. It's essential. It's going to be an essential going to the next format as well. The reason why I didn't run into any breaking issues to Valhalla was basically dropping free big monsters for, for no cost. I dropped this and Christia one time, just 1 game because he couldn't out it. Excellent. So I think honestly more Dark Lord players, if you're having the breaking issue, consider using Valhalla and unbreak your hand. And you gotta love the secrets too, don't you? Then for the 1 Soul Charge, 1 Raigeki, 1 Dark Hole. Board wipes are really good. Get into the traps. That's 20 spells as well. Get into the traps. You run 2 Dark Lord Rebellion. Excellent card. Non-targeting destruction is still relevant and will always be relevant as far as I'm concerned. excellent card. Also being able to I had a couple times where I flipped this with something in hand or on field for my Darklord, and then popped, use this, returned it back to the deck, and popped something else he had on field. I was a Metalfold guy. I believe I took out his scales that way. He was just unable to play after that because he needed to be able to at least pop one to get the plus. Instead he needed. So it was a great card. I might consider bumping up to 3, but this ratio has been excellent just the way it was. And then we had the one Eradicator Epidemic Virus. If this comes back to 2, I'll love that happened. I was just flipping this and winning all weekend long. It was excellent. Playing against Paleo especially, just devastating. Played it against Metalfold guy when he had the scales, devastating. It was a great card. And then finally won Full Force Virus MVP of the weekend. I was just flipping this. I played a Zoo guy, insta-lost. And then as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to get my hands on another one of these while it's cheap before people realize how good this card's going to be this format if you have a deck that can utilize it. Because they just have no answer for this at all. You just flip, win. There's no graveyard recursion other than Digusto Emerald with the Zodiac deck that's coming. And I did play one guy. It was weekend sneak peek that had all the things already. Whether he had earlier access than we did, he must have, or whatever he had. It's his business. Played him, flipped this. He just scooped instantly. And that's going to be a constant for the format. So that's it for the main. It's 44 cards. The reason why I run the 44, honestly, I found at 40. I mean, it was good, but I burned through the deck so fast. Even without Desires, which I don't honestly run. I don't run Desires in any deck of mine, and I've been doing very well at events, whatnot. And I don't think this deck needs Desires. I'd rather be able to see all my assets. So, at 44, I just see more possibilities, more combo pieces, and I can play it like that because it thins itself out so much, and I just didn't run into any breaking issues because of some of the tech. So I think I'll keep it around that number. I just think the Konami is kind of getting us into a format or to a place in the game where I think they're trying to encourage people to build, more robust decks. You can see with cards like Desires coming out, that you banish 10 to thin and draw 2, and then the Lawnmowing card that came out. I think that's I think that's kind of where the game is heading right now, and it wasn't a problem at 44. So, Maynard, you want the side deck or extra deck first?
Side deck.
Side deck, we had 2 Ghost Ogre, simple. You know what Ghost Ogre does. 2 Gamma Seal, 2 Lava Golem, excellent for spot removal and excellent for board clearance. 2 Maxi, personal tech that was great this weekend, Eater of the Millions. Being able to banish things. It has a Catastrophe-esque effect. What it does is you can summon this by banishing 5 face down from hand, extra deck, or field. And you can also use that as total, so you can do 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter how you get it done as long as you get the 5 face down from those 3 facets of the game. It gains 100 for every face down card that is played. So I remember dropping this with a guy who was playing Lightsworn. He's playing like 60 something card Lightsworn, and he had Desires twice, then plus this. So he came out at 2,500 with the Catastrophe effect to banish anything face down he attacks. He can't be tributed either, so they can't kaiju this, whatever and whatnot. And so if they don't have like a Raigeki, a Dark Hole, something to pop, or just something that just beats over, well, honestly, you don't want to attack it at all. It was just such a problem for people to get over. It was a really good card. I think I'll keep it in there. The 1 Dark Hole, we played the 1 Chain Disappearance because I was expecting maybe. I knew a couple of buddies of mine that were supposed to come had a lot of zoo stuff already, so I was expecting to kind of play them. Didn't happen. I only played one guy I didn't know, but when I did play him, this came up. This came up big time. I wanted to see if it was going to be effective. I got a chance to see it for myself. Very effective. What happens is anytime you summon something that has 1,000 or less attack, banishes it and any of the copies that you have in the deck. So basically no more rat dot deck plays. It just can't function. Finally, that the 1 enchantment, the 1 rebellion. This is basically a free change of heart. Non-targeting. I don't run it in the main because I don't think it comes up enough for that, but I like to have it as like a little highlight in the side deck. It's good. Onto the extra deck, run the 1 Dora, the 1 Gustav Max, basically Big Fell Brand. Got game with this one time for burns for 2,000. Run the 1 number 38 because it's busted. I run a big Galaxy package because I like to. I just like to be able to push for big damage if I do go into my extra deck at all, which I rarely do. I like to be able to push for big damage, so I run the 2 Dark Matter Dragons. Obviously, the banishing effect can't use because you're not using dragons, but It came up when I was trying to go for big pushes. Ran the two full armor, photon dragon. Being able to make a 4,000 guy and pop something at the same time. Why not? Ran the one ravenous tarantula. Ran the one tachyon dragon, obviously, so you'd be able to get overlay into your bigger guys. Cypher dragon because it's cheap. I had a couple times where I played a BA guy and stole his Dante, overlaid this to this, overlaid his Dante into another one of these, and it just was game over. Great card. Ran the one prime. I actually made this to get over a cubic guy's big whatever their monster's called, and I have a cubic deck, and me being able to not recite that name is kind of ridiculous, but I made this to get over his guy. He played cubic karma. His guy was like 4,500. I made this was 6,800, got over him, then I went from there. Put the one Felgram, probably I'll cut it because I just never ever use it at all. And even though I don't utilize the extra deck, I like all facets of anything I run to be useful when I need to call upon it. And Felgram, I think, is kind of just irrelevant at this point. And then I ran the two number 29 Lancelot. Basically, what it does is I can attack directly for 2,000, and when he does, he can pop something on the field that's face up. Then when anybody activates an effect of any kind, a spell, trap, monster, he automatically negates it. What you want to be careful about, though, that does include yourself. It's like a dual caliber knight effect, except for it works for 3 levels of cards, monster, spell, and trap. I make him when I want just board control, when I don't necessarily have to flip anything or do anything proactively, just maintain my setup, my board. Excellent card. Honestly, probably might run 3 and then cut this if I was going to make any changes to the extra deck. And yeah, that's it for the deck.
All right.
Some combos that we got into. I would drop Morningstar. And what Morningstar does is, as I said, you can special summon Darklords from graveyard or deck up to the number of effect monsters your opponent controls. And I had to set up a couple times where I would have this, like I would tribute, maybe I had this and X-Shell, and then I had the Christia in graveyard. And so what I did was I just tribute over those two. I know my opponent had 3 face-up effect monsters. I bought out 1 Zerato. Then I know I bought out 1 Test Cat because he's big, and then for my last one I wanted to bring out was Superbia, and what Superbia's effect will do in this case, it will activate and bring back a fairy. Once again, doesn't matter if it's dark or light from grave. And I bought out Christia, and then I used the Rado effect to ditch a dark monster, nuke my opponent's board. They couldn't do anything. And then just like the onslaught, and then obviously what he does, he mills the top 5, and then this guy right here can use graveyard effects. So it was good. I think the deck is going to be honestly very good going to this next format because I don't rely on the extra deck at all to get me game. And with D barrier and all that kind of crap floating around, I'm never worried about that. So yeah, it's good. That's about it.
All right, guys. Straight from Team OTK, and we are out.